Parece que Caitlin Clark ha cerrado la sede de Nike en un nuevo video viral.
The entire Nike headquarters was transformed into Caitlin Clark's personal showcase as soon as she entered. Custom logo cookies and high-end outerwear that haven't even been released yet. Additionally, LeBron James most likely did not receive the hero's welcome. The biggest star in the WNBA reminded everyone of who currently oversees women's basketball. When Nike unveiled the red carpet, Clark took full advantage of it.
¿Crees que Nike finalmente le está dando a Caitlin Clark el respeto que se merece? ¿O deberían haberlo hecho?
Do you believe Nike is now treating Caitlin Clark with the deference she merits, or should they have done so months ago? Tell me in the comments. Since the Team USA tryouts, Caitlin Clark has remained comparatively silent. She wasn't in the news every other day. She wasn't making viral videos on a regular basis. Some even began speculating that her off-season would be dull. Those folks were mistaken. Incredibly incorrect.
Clark se presentó en la sede de Nike en Oregón, y el vídeo que salió de esa visita es absolutamente ridículo. Estamos hablando de un nivel de trato.
The video that emerged from Clark's visit to Nike's Oregon headquarters is completely absurd. We're discussing a degree of care that the majority of athletes never experience during their whole careers. She received more than just a quick picture shoot invitation and a complimentary pair of shoes from Nike. They turned their whole structure into a museum dedicated to Caitlin Clark.
Empecemos por la chaqueta. Esa chaqueta Nike CC personalizada que llevaba Clark. La palabra premium ni siquiera alcanza para describirla. El diseño, el ajuste.
First, let's talk about the jacket. Clark was sporting that personalized Nike CC jacket. The word premium doesn't even come close to describing it. The style, fit, and flawless placement of her insignia on the chest. This item most likely costs a minimum of $3 or $400. Here's the worst part. The public isn't even able to access it yet. Clark received privileged access to stuff from Nike that isn't available in stores. That kind of pampering is only given to athletes that sell merchandise, shift the needle, and bring in billions of dollars for Nike. Employees lined up as if she were royalty when she entered the facility. They gave her a personalized little basketball emblazoned with her emblem. Embossed rather than printed. That's screaming attention to detail. We're investing serious money into you. It's likely that they will begin selling those tiny basketballs, and they will run out in about 14 seconds. For a moment, let's discuss that logo. One of the greatest athlete logos in sports at the moment is Caitlin Clark's CC logo. According to some, it resembles Gucci or Chanel. To be honest, that's precisely why it works. It is unisex, elegant, clean, and readily identifiable. It doesn't shout basketball player. It exudes a high-end brand. Nobody would question that logo if it appeared on expensive watches or purses. Consider the logos of other basketball players. The majority of them are convoluted, preoccupied, and overly ambitious. Two interwoven oceans that seem they belong on a fashion runway make up Clark's logo. That is brilliant branding, and Nike is obviously aware of it. The advertising content, it was crazy at this occasion. Coffee mugs with her logo, cookies adorned with CC graphics, and custom tote bags with From Anywhere branding, a nod to Clark's absurd long-range shooting prowess. Every employee was enjoying the transformation of Nike's offices into a Caitlin Clark theme park. In one video, Clark's logo served as the background while she took a shot on a little basketball hoop. She automatically drained it because that's what she does. The staff went crazy as if they had just seen her score a game-winning goal in the championship game. Everywhere Caitlin Clark walks, she exudes that kind of vitality. Let's be honest for a moment now. Nike's handling of Caitlin Clark's brand has drawn some criticism. Early on, many thought that they weren't doing enough. Where was Nike when Clark was shattering every record in women's college basketball and drawing previously unheard-of attention to the sport? Why didn't Nike take advantage of her success right away when she was selling out venues and breaking TV ratings? However, This incident fundamentally alters the story. It's obvious that Nike is now fully committed to Caitlin Clark, and they're not hiding it. The amount of effort they put into this visit to the headquarters is comparable to what they have done for their top male sportsmen. Here, we're talking about LeBron James territory and Michael Jordan area. It's not overstated. Watch the video. One person on social media highlighted an intriguing point. CC material is all over Nike WHQ. This is unlike anything we've seen since Michael Jordan. That's a strong claim, but it's difficult to disagree with the pictures and videos that have emerged from this incident. Nike turned its corporate headquarters, where thousands of workers actually work every day, into a showcase for Caitlin Clark. That's not how athletes often look. It's a coronation. The branding for the From Anywhere challenge is quite clever. It perfectly illustrates Caitlin Clark's unique ability to pull up from 30 feet and drain shots that make opponents reevaluate their life decisions. It's unforgettable. It is globally applicable and marketable. Although fans in China, Europe, or South America might not be familiar with every detail of her collegiate history, they can still grasp it from any location. They can see the exact meaning of the term by watching her highlights. Throughout the break, Caitlin Clark's every move has been monitored by a Twitter account called CC Offseason, and they deserve a lot of praise for keeping supporters informed. No one is aware of its operator. It might be a member of Clark's crew. They may be a devoted fan, but they do a fantastic job of recording everything she does. Every photo, every public appearance, and every item of product is cataloged. The majority of the Nike headquarters footage was first made public by that account. The media was even aware of the incident. In a similar vein, Caitlin Clark's style account keeps track of every clothing she dons. During this visit to Nike, Clark was clearly sporting exclusive Nike stuff that no one else had access to, which caused that account to blow up. Fans were analyzing each item of apparel to determine when they could purchase it for themselves. Although the audio isn't clear in most of the films, you can see the reactions on people's faces as Clark gives a brief speech to Nike employees. They are paying close attention to whatever she says. Even though she is only 22 years old, she is controlling a room full of designers and business leaders as if she has been doing this for decades. One noteworthy detail, compared to the WNBA season, Clark is much thinner. A few people made comments regarding her weight loss. It's important to note that she obviously prioritizes off-season conditioning, even though we're not here to examine her physique. She is not resting and taking a break. She's getting ready for the next step, maintaining in top form and ensuring that she is prepared to rule when the season resumes. Now, let's deal with the big issue. For Caitlin Clark, why is Nike doing all of this? The answer is now straightforward and brutally honest. Cash. Clark sells more goods than practically any other NBA player at the moment. Wilson's sales skyrocketed when she wore Wilson basketballs throughout her time in college. Fans were thrilled when she joined Nike. She began inquiring about the release date of her signature shoe right away. Every article of Nike clothing she wears sells out in a matter of hours. Nike is a company, and companies pursue profits. The numbers have been run. They had witnessed Clark's television ratings. They have observed the interaction on social media. They've seen the numbers for arena attendance. The information indicates that making significant investments in Caitlin Clark is not just wise. If they want to rule the women's basketball market, they must. Competition is another element at work here. In women's basketball, Adidas has been taking action. Arauer is working to restore the area's relevance. Prominent female athletes have been signed by Puma. Nike cannot afford to waste Caitlin Clark's enormous cultural influence or, worse, allow her relationship with a company to deteriorate to the point where she looks at other choices when her contract expires. Nike is conveying several messages at once by hosting this enormous celebration at their headquarters. We all want you to succeed, Caitlin Clark, and you are our first priority. Back off from other brands. We own her. Customers perceive the goods we're producing with Caitlin Clark as high-end and unique. This is how other athletes perceive a top-tier collaboration with Nike. This event's timing is equally crucial. Clark recently went through the USA team selection process. Procedure. She is involved in the national dialogue. Casual fans begin to lose interest in WNBA players during the off-season until the next season begins. Nike is ensuring that Clark doesn't experience that. They are sustaining the momentum she gained during her record-breaking debut season, keeping her in the news and keeping her relevant. Examine the event's social media stats. For hours, the hashtags associated with Caitlin Clark's visit to Nike-dominated Twitter. Engagement on Instagram was skyrocketing. Millions of people watched TikTok videos related to the event. That involvement was not funded by Nike. It was naturally generated by Caitlin Clark's organic fame. That is the type of ROI that causes business executives to become really excited. "We pray for times like these," a social media commenter said, alluding to the fact that women's basketball is now receiving this much corporate funding and attention. It's critical to comprehend that sentiment. Women athletes have been demanding the same treatment, marketing funds, and production value that male athletes automatically receive for decades. At last, Caitlin Clark is understanding. Additionally, it's boosting the standard for all women's basketball players. Let's be honest, though. Nike isn't acting just out of altruism. The reason for this is that Caitlin Clark demonstrated she is capable of producing outcomes. She's shown her ability to move merchandise, get ratings, sell tickets, and create cultural events. She completed the task. Her impact and performance earned her this treatment. Her logo emblazoned cookies, personalized coffee mugs, tote bags, and exclusive goods are more than just entertaining promotional items. They serve as conceptual proof. Nike is testing consumer reactions to Caitlin Clark goods. They are collecting information about what things customers want, what designs work, and what pricing points make sense. This gathering served as a focus group, a celebration, and a strategic planning session for Clark's upcoming product lines. Nike will release that iconic sneaker when it eventually does. Since they've been observing the response to everything Clark-related they've released thus far, they already know exactly what fans want. They will be aware of the best-selling hues, the most talked-about styles, and the price range that optimizes accessibility and profit. Additionally, the From Anywhere branding creates intriguing opportunities for product lines that go beyond clothing and shoes. Basketballs, compression gear, shooting sleeves, and training equipment can all have the slogan and Clark's emblem. Nike can create a whole ecosystem of Caitlin Clark merchandise that appeals to fans who want to support her, young athletes who want to shoot like her, and casual customers who simply think the logo is great. Additionally, we are unable to disregard the implications for women's basketball in general. Nike shows the entire business that women's basketball is worth serious money and serious attention when it makes such a large investment in one athlete. Other companies will react. There will be notice from other leagues. Other athletes will push for comparable therapy after realizing what is feasible. One Nike event at a time, Caitlin Clark is literally altering the financial landscape of women's basketball. She is demonstrating that businesses can earn handsomely from women's sports if they are prepared to make the right investments. She is demonstrating that if a product is properly advertised, fans will visit, purchase goods, and interact with content. The fact that Clark has remained despite all of this, she remains comparatively modest, which increases her marketability. She isn't acting entitled or demanding attention. She arrives, performs her duties, expresses gratitude to those who have supported her, and continues to work. A marketer's dream is to have both exceptional talent and genuine humility. That's it. Everyone was reminded by Caitlin Clark that she is both the present and the future of women's basketball. Nike's headquarters celebration demonstrated that they are at last making the kind of investment she deserves. Click like and subscribe if you're excited about Clark's supremacy and would like more information that breaks down her impact. What Nike product do you want to see from her?